Hi and welcome to episode 1 of our new High School with COVID podcast. I'm Isabel Young.
I'm Taylor Cronert.
And I'm Claire Jansen.
And we are starting off by talking about theatre. In our school, theatre is starting up again with an online version of Joe's Cafe. We're going to talk to a cast member later in the show. The theatre club has begun hosting its weekly meetings again, and the Thespian Society induction was a few weeks ago.
And Worldwide Broadway is closed until 2021. The Met Opera House skips the entire season for the first time in history, but it will be reopened next September with the first ever Black composer ever featured there, Terence Blanchard.
Blanchard is a composer and jazz trumpeter, and his opera is called Fire Shut Up in My Bones.
And there's show 6 to reopen on the West End November 14th. It's allowed as they only have 6 on stage. The choreography changes so they're not so close to each other, and the cast and crew will be tested weekly.
And according to Dr. Fauci, it will be at least a year until audience members will not be required to wear a mask and socially distance. So now we're going to get into our interview with Joe's Cafe cast member Emerson Hartman. So I guess we'll start off with how you got into theater and what you're involved in right now.
Okay, so I got into theater when I was 8 or something. It was through Kids Acting Studio that's downtown. And I did a production there, just as something to do when I first moved here, and I absolutely loved it. So, it was me and my older sister, and we went to our mom after the production ended, and we went, "Can we do this again? Can we be in more shows?" So we just kept on continuing with Kids Acting for 5 years, I think. And then I stopped going there because I knew that I had to transfer over to Vandegrift for my acting experience. So now I'm very involved with the Vandegrift Theater Department.
Mm-hmm.
I am in musical theater this year, and I am also in Theater 3-4. So those are things I'm also in drama club.
Ooh. What shows have you done so far?
I was in Mamma Mia. I was in Joe's Cafe last year. I was in Clue. And I was going to be in a senior one-act play at the end of the year last year, but that had to be canceled due to COVID.
And so how has COVID affected you both in theater and in your personal life so far?
Theater is truly struggling because there's only so much you can do over Zoom. What I said previously with the senior one-act play, we had to basically cancel it because there's only so much you can rehearse over Zoom. There's only so much you can do, and we were we can't perform this show. We literally can't perform it. So theater right now is heavily struggling, and it breaks my heart because I love this. I love theater so much, and to see it struggle like this is absolutely heartbreaking. And personally, my older sister who's at college, she got COVID 2 weeks being there. She's all better now, but that was it was pretty scary, because she was so far away, and I was oh my god, my sister's sick, what? And also just, I'm a very extroverted person. I love going out and meeting with friends. It's in my nature, basically. And to be just cooped up constantly, I'm
And just a question on that, how has theater adjusted to COVID and rehearsing online and stuff?
People have developed ways of, and what we're doing for Joe's Cafe is some classes are we're recreating movies, and so like we're all filming ourselves, and then we're all gonna edit together scenes. So like some places they're still doing plays, but what they're doing is like everyone films their part and then sends it in, being like, hey, this is my part for this scene, and then they'll edit it together and then they'll like post it on Facebook Live or something.
Okay. And sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh no. You
So,
go.
what are you looking forward to so far for theater, even with all of the changes that is happening with theater?
I am very much looking forward to like the process of like making these little movies for our productions, because it is something very new, and I do like the idea of it. And I'm excited to see the process and see how it's done. And it could definitely be a great addition to the theater community. Like, have different, like, people who love theater from around the world, like, come together and make, like, you know, a little theatrical piece. Like,
Emerson, what are you doing for Joe's Cafe?
my group, so it's all grouped by like different classes. So my group, we are recreating the Hunger Games.
Ooh.
And so we're like recreating that different movie. And it was really fun to do. I get to play Effie Trinket.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
I love her.
It was really fun. So yeah. And we have like someone in our group who's editing all of our clips together. So that's really cool.
And how, I know you haven't been in an online show yet, but how do you think it's going to feel different than doing it in person?
It's definitely going to feel different in the way that theater kids, like, we love giving people hugs and like affection and all that.
Yeah.
And so just to not be there with our like different cast members and all that, and not be there to build like that bond between all of us, it's gonna feel weird, because you know, we're usually all there together, like having this one experience together, but it's separated through a screen now. So
Oh.
Yeah.
So, what is happening with theater so far? Is there anything coming up that you want to discuss with us? Like any new?
we are doing Joe's Cafe.
Mhm.
It's running between October 8th and the 10th, I think. Yeah. And so it's like all of the theater classes all are like putting together different videos and all that, and they're all going to be put together and posted through like a YouTube link, I think. And it's really cool. It's going to be really new, really fun, and I'm excited for that. And also, like, there are suggested donations for it because the arts are struggling, but yeah.
And I know obviously you were talking about the downsides of being online, but you were also talking about how it could potentially bring people together, maybe even internationally. Is there anything else, anything like that, that's positive that's coming out of this for theater?
People can really show like new talents of themselves. Like, in musical theater, we had a project where we had to do like these different talents, and I was like thinking, you know, if we were in class, then people would just go up there and sing their favorite musical theater song. But since we're online, we all had like time to think, and people were like, oh, let me show off my photography. Oh, this is like my art. Personally, I did makeup looks because I've been away from theater so long that I was like, here's some makeup looks that I did. And so it really shows like people's other passions than theater, I would say.
Mhm.
And I find that really cool.
What do you miss? What do you miss most about like being in person and doing theater?
Could you repeat that?
Okay, what do you miss most about being in person and actually doing theater, like being around people, like actually getting to be on the stage?
I just miss seeing my friends in person and just like
Okay.
I feel like the connection between like because there are some new freshmen in the class and all that, and I want to be like hi or just like new people in general. I just want to like I'm a friendly person, so I want to be like hi, how are you doing? What's your name? Where'd you come from? Like all that. Like and on Zoom you can't really do that, so it's just like there's just kind of a barrier, so everyone just sticks with who they know almost, and I just miss making those new connections.
So, Emerson, do you think you're gonna take like growth from this? If Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna take growth from this because even though we're online and all that, I get to have more time to do research about like the history of theater and just learn new things about it that usually like in class we would be like doing scenes, but we can't really do that, so we're like diving into history and we're going, okay, let's put some videos together and teach children at the elementary school about the history of musical theater, and like we can send it over to them.
I think, unless Taylor and Claire have anything else to add, that is all of our questions.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, this has been episode 1 of our High School of COVID podcast.
Watch out every week for a new episode.
Thank you for listening.